The exceptional heat across some parts of the UK, well, that's still a big talking point, and it remains so as we go into Friday. A red warning still out across parts of the southeast. But as we go through the weekend, whilst we do still have amber extreme heat warnings out, we are going to see fresher air coming in, so our temperatures dropping. That's going to be welcome news for the vast majority of us. Let's look at Friday then, and we can see, well, we still have hot air across the bulk of the country, but something ever so slightly fresher starting to come in from the west. Now, there are a couple of frontal systems across the UK. There's a system driving some thunderstorms across parts of England and Wales, pushing northwards through the morning, and then this front lying across, well, Northern Ireland, but also more so Scotland, and this is bringing some heavy thundery rain as well. Once all of that clears northwards into parts of Scotland, there's a lot of dry, sunny weather following it behind, and with that sunshine and that heat, that hot air from the south, well, temperatures, yes, are going to be very high indeed. For some, particularly across central eastern parts, they're likely to be even higher than through the rest of this week. 36, 37, 38 Celsius, not out of the question. Meanwhile, towards the north and west, fresher here, fresher than it has been through much of this week across western parts of England and Wales, where there's also a bit more cloud and a slightly fresher breeze, adding to that slightly more comfortable feel perhaps. As I mentioned at the start, there are still a number of extreme heat warnings out. Through Friday, there's an amber one across much of the Midlands, into parts of northern and eastern England, and also across parts of the southeast. But in the southeast, we have a red extreme heat warning. That's because, as I mentioned, temperatures are still going to be very high, and we have that exceptionally high humidity, which has been causing so much grief. Worth highlighting, like we have done all this week, whilst other parts of the world can sometimes cope better than we do with these sort of temperatures, our infrastructure just isn't designed for temperatures in the mid to high 30s, which is why it causes us more significant issues. We do have a number of thunderstorm warnings out on Friday. There's one for Northern Ireland, parts of England and Wales earlier on in the day, and then there's one across Scotland, which is out for the bulk of the day because, well, with that high humidity and that heat, we are going to see some hefty thundery downpours, 20 to 30 millimetres perhaps in just an hour or so, and some relatively large hail, 2 to 4 centimetres in diameter. So that could cause some problems with gusty winds as well. Then looking ahead through Friday night and into Saturday, we see that weather system continuing across parts of northern Scotland for a while, so continue to bring some rain overnight. But the bigger talking point, let's look at those temperatures, because there is slightly fresher air, more comfortable air coming in from the west. It is still going to be warm and humid, especially in the southeast. Another tropical night for some places here. You might be sick and tired of us talking about tropical nights, but yes, some places will stay above 20 Celsius, particularly towards the east. Further north and west, a little bit fresher, a little bit more comfortable, but actually there's a fair amount of cloud which will stop temperatures from dropping particularly low. Weather-wise, and a few things to point out, overnight into Saturday morning, a few showers could push up from the near continent, and they could be a bit on the heavy side, maybe even a bit of thunder, but they'll clear through during the morning. And then otherwise we have a bit of a northwest-southeast split. Cloudier with outbreaks of rain towards the northwest, quite a fresh breeze as well. Meanwhile, towards the southeast and across the bulk of England and Wales, it's looking largely dry and sunny, but we always have to watch out for the potential for some showers to come in from the south. And that's because, well, we still have some pretty high temperatures and high humidity across parts of the east in particular. Now, these temperatures are nowhere near as high as what we've seen earlier on in the week. Even through Friday, they're going to be much higher. But nonetheless, we're still looking at it being pretty hot, low to possibly mid-30s in parts of the east. A fair few degrees lower than this. That fresher feel from the west continues to make its way in. But yes, in the east, we still have an amber extreme heat warning out for Saturday because of the ongoing impacts with all the hot weather that we've had through this week, and the residual heat that will be trapped, particularly within the towns and cities, still going to make it pretty uncomfortable and difficult for many. Overnight, Saturday and into Sunday, we do have a weather system out towards the west, a couple of weather systems actually, and they're going to be bringing outbreaks of rain. Eventually, that's all going to shift its way eastwards, and it is going to bring more cloud, outbreaks of rain, but also slightly more comfortable, cooler air behind this cold front as well. So as a result, I think through Saturday night into Sunday night, again, we're going to see a slight drop in our temperatures compared to some recent nights, which is welcome news. Many of us will be grateful for that. Still quite warm and muggy towards the east, high teens, maybe low 20s, but perhaps not quite as warm as through Friday night into Saturday. And then we wake up on Sunday morning to quite a cloudy picture for most of us, just parts of East Anglia, Lincolnshire, perhaps starting the day with lots of sunshine. So yes, a fair amount of cloud, a fair amount of rain, especially towards northern parts across much of Scotland. The rain looks quite widespread and quite heavy at times. Further south, it's outbreaks of rain that will be pushing their way further eastwards. Within these, there could be some heavier bursts, so I wouldn't take the position of these too literally at this sort of lead time, but especially as the showery bursts of rain push into more eastern areas, I'm expecting some of them to invigorate, become more intense, perhaps even thundery, because it is still going to be pretty warm or very warm and humid here. A few showers continuing across Scotland and Northern Ireland through the bulk of the day. Again, some of them could be on the heavy side, but other parts of England and Wales, well, actually, it's looking drier by the time that we get to the afternoon. There will be more cloud around, a fresh breeze, and that slightly cooler air coming in behind that front, so temperatures markedly lower than they have been through the bulk of this week. But like I said, still very warm towards eastern parts of England, mid to possibly high 20s. So if you do get any sunshine, it's going to feel very warm indeed, actually pretty pleasant. I think that these kind of temperatures, they look pretty nice compared to what many of us have had through much of this week. Looking ahead into next week, and we start off with a more changeable theme than we've had recently. There will be some rain around, but generally it looks like most of the wet weather will be more towards the northwest of the country. Further south and east looks a bit drier. Probably we'll see some rain at times, but drier than towards the northwest. And actually, as we see high pressure likely to build from the south, things should be turning generally drier towards the end of the week. And with that then, our temperatures, they're going to be closer to normal compared to what we've had. It is still summer, so it will still be hot in any fine sunny weather, but even as that high pressure builds, there aren't any strong signs for the temperatures to get anywhere near as high as they have been recently. So I'm sure that will be good news from most people's point of view, but of course we will be keeping you up to date with the forecast through the next few days, through the weeks, so make sure you subscribe and you'll be on top of things as well. Bye-bye.